Welcome to the Museum of the Cherokee People's Object Collections. I'm here today with our Director of Education, Dakota Brown, who's an Eastern Band citizen, and I'm Evan Mathis, the Director of Collections and Exhibitions. Today we're going to be talking about this pre-removal Aldrich sash. It's the only historic piece of southeastern beadwork that we have in the museum's collection, and it's been a really significant source of inspiration for our community, so we wanted to highlight it today. One of the really interesting forms of beadwork that's on the sash is this stitch right here along the edge. It looks kind of similar to how beadworkers today will edge an earring, but it's flat. Personally, I haven't figured this stitch out yet, but I know Cherokee Nation beadwork artist Martha Berry has perfected this by looking at historic Cherokee beadwork. The other thing that's pretty cool is it starts in the center and spirals out in a counterclockwise motion. You'll also see over here on this one, there's a miscolored bead, which we think was probably intentional. It also has this pretty unique stitch with the triangles or mountain peaks or whatever you want to call them along the straight edge. You can also see on the ends here it would have originally had some red ties, which probably indicates that it was worn across like a bandolier.
One of the reasons why we chose to put it on exhibit in sovereignty is because it represents a form of leadership that predates our current leadership. The traditional form of leadership for Cherokee people was not separate from our ceremonies. Ceremonial leaders would have also participated in leadership in other ways in the community, which happens still today, but definitely our Cherokee government looks a little bit different. This sash would have been worn by a leader in ceremonial context, but also leadership within the community.
You'll also notice that each one of the four spirals is a little bit different. There's also this small red section here that's not present on the other sides. This sash was purchased by the Museum of the Cherokee People in 2014 from Travis and Kathy Cole. This sash has been in the Bostic and Cole families from circa 1820 until 2014 when the museum purchased it, I believe through grant funding from the Cherokee Preservation Foundation. With traditional beadwork artists throughout the community, this sash in particular has been the only piece of historic Cherokee beadwork that we have access to here in the Cherokee community. Most historic Cherokee beadwork is held in collections elsewhere throughout the United States and internationally throughout the world. You can see they probably stitched the little triangle pieces as just straight long lines. We also believe that people were using what's known as the two-needle method. The two-needle method is where you string the beads with one thread and needle and then you tack it with the other thread. The reason for that is because historically there were not needles small enough to fit through the bead two times. You can only thread the bead once. The contemporary method of how people will sometimes bead with one needle kind of wasn't possible with these historic beads because they're really small. The back looks like for the makers out there. You can also see the remnants of the original ties that are on both ends, so that kind of also indicates how it would have been more original. For this particular piece of beadwork, we custom ordered an acid-free blue board box, which is what most museums and archival repositories will store their collections in. That helps prevent it from breaking down further over time quicker. It was formerly housed in a white oak case, which is not good for object care because white oak will off-gas and cause the beadwork and the fabric to break down quicker. We also wrap it in acid-free tissue paper, also keep it in a layer of unbleached muslin, and that helps to protect it a little bit better.
We don't buy things often for our collections. This is one of the very few examples of purchases that the museum has made in our history for our collections. I think it was really important, this piece in particular, having this here has already been an inspiration for so many people in our community and Cherokee beadworkers in our community to recreate aspects of this design. I do think it's really important for us to have examples of historic beadwork. Yeah, this is the only one that we have in our collections. I think that it's an important piece for us and it's amazing that we have it. Our community can learn from it. There's already examples of this piece being recreated by Richard Sanook, who also works here. He's one of our, he's a demonstrator in the Division of Education. And so, yeah, he's already been able to recreate this piece, which is that I just want to emphasize that how important it is to have examples of historic beadwork and other types of our Cherokee material culture available and accessible to our community.
The designs that are represented on this sash, You can see these on archaeological pottery. So to me, this sash kind of represents that unbroken bond from ancient potters up through pre-removal times when they're still using the exact same iconography in different ways with European materials. At ceremonial grounds here in North Carolina and Oklahoma, song dance leaders still wear these today. So this is not something, ancient or foreign to Cherokee people. This is still something that people wear today and designs that people still use today. One of the things that I know about historic beadwork like this is oftentimes blue and red were what people had access to, the colors blue and red and then the plain white beads. Do I think that they would have used other bright colors if they had access to it? Absolutely. I don't think that people have to be stuck in this red, blue, and white color scheme, and a lot of people have taken it upon themselves to use these designs with much different contemporary colors, which is really cool to see.
It is on exhibit in Sovereignty, so you can come and take a look at this piece in the Sovereignty exhibit, and hopefully find some inspiration from this piece and appreciate this beautiful piece of Cherokee work.